Hello. Sorry, still just getting the last few things set up. Possibly. Let's see how things look. Live chat is unavailable. Hello, everybody. I'm assuming my audio is working this time, hopefully. Fantastic. I'm glad it's working. I think it was, for those of you who missed the the train wreck that happened earlier, is I was trying to start a stream just privately. I was just wanting to test out my settings and making sure everything was set up properly for a stream, but I wasn't planning on streaming yet. And those of you in my Discord probably already know, but the announcer bot that I have, it pings the entire server as soon as I post a video, and I didn't actually like post a stream or anything. I didn't go live, but I created the stream as unlisted because I thought that wouldn't that wouldn't be announced to my entire server. And so I think about 15 or 20 people came into the stream, and then my mic wasn't working, and so everybody just saw me like struggling. Which I didn't really actually change any settings that should have affected that. So I think just shutting it down and restarting seemed to help. However, now I'm getting this whole live chat is unavailable nonsense, and I don't know what that's about. Let's try something. Okay, there we go. It looks like I think I fixed. Okay. Now we got the comments showing properly. Well, I'm glad some of you enjoyed watching me struggle. I didn't actually even realize that the mic wasn't working earlier until I said something, and I had replied to somebody, and then just like was getting like no responses back, and so I was just like, I don't think they can hear me. So I was actually talking a fair bit before I realized my mic wasn't working at all. Okay. And it's so funny about the boomer comments is I've always like joked on Discord because like running the server, or like running my Discord server, it's the first time I've ever used Discord. Um, I mean, I kind of popped in and out of a couple other servers, like once or twice, just to say hi to everybody and everything. Um, but I had never done anything on Discord outside of like, posting a couple messages, like, um, which is not helpful, really. And so I've always said that, like, Discord was my like Achilles heel. But like in general, I'm pretty tech savvy and everything, and then I completely undermine anything I've ever said about that. um, by absolutely embarrassing myself on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna defend my use of Discord on the browser because I was just like hanging out playing this mobile game I like called Omyoji. And I figured I would just like stream in the Discord and just kind of hang out and chat and everything on there. And I tried downloading the uh, the program and like running it as a program rather than in my browser, and it gave me so many problems trying to live stream. And then as soon as I switched back to the browser and streamed my game on there, it worked perfectly. Yeah, YouTube streaming is a little convoluted, but it's not too bad. I've never streamed anywhere else, so I really I don't have much of a basis for comparison as far as like streaming like this. Aka, yeah, that was a struggle. I don't normally stream games or anything. I really don't play many games. It's just this one mobile game. It was just kind of on impulse. Just one day, I just figured I would hop on my server and stream that. But it's not. It's honestly, it's not a very exciting game to watch anyway. And it's the only game I play. So, let's see. Aka, yeah, I know. It's the game is kind of a there's kind of a learning curve to it. So yeah, I feel you. It's like when you look at the display or anything on it, I mean, it's like it seems very overwhelming. I mean, once you get the hang of it, it's it's very habitual. You can kind of do the same thing, and once you kind of get into the motions of it, it's kind of hard to explain, but um it's very routine. But when you're still trying to figure out what the routine is, it's yeah. Yeah, they do tend to be like that with a lot of gotcha games. The only ones I've really played besides Omyoji is I played the Bungo Stray Dogs game for a while. I think we talked about that a bit in the Discord. And then I tried playing Fate Grand Order for a little while, but oh, it's just I don't know. Something about the Fate series is just I don't know. It's just hard for me to get into. It's not that I don't like it or anything. Um, I really like Iskander, and he was pretty much like the reason that I kind of started watching or playing like any Fate anything. But um, yeah, I don't know. just had a hard time staying devoted to it. I think with gacha games too, it's hard to play more than one, um, especially if you're kind of more serious about it, I guess. Ninja, don't get me started on Raven Cycle. The Raven Cycle books are my absolute favorite. I think I've reread that series probably 3 or 4 times, and it's about time for another reread. Leonardo, you're not wrong. Lord of Pills, thank you. I'm doing pretty well. I hope you're all doing okay too. That's Alex. That's not a sink. I have a fish tank. That's it, it's a pretty loud fish tank. It's actually in the other room. But that's like the bubbler. I mean, technically it's not my fish tank, so I don't know anything more technical term than the bubbler. The House of Night Books. I think I've had the House of Night Books recommended to me before, but I haven't read them yet. Uh, the kind of fish that are in there. It's 2 goldfish, and I can't remember what the others are. There's a couple tiny snails and like um, a little. There's like a 3 or 4 little like white silver kinds of fish. I can't remember what they're called, but I mean it's a it's a pretty big tank. Um, I want to say it's maybe 60 or 70 gallons, somewhere like roughly in that territory. Let's see. Desetto. Yes, I do watch anime. It's like the constant struggle not to just be like geeking out constantly. Um, yeah, I was actually I had watched part of Mushishi a long time ago, and I had never finished it, but I finally got back to it last night. Um, so I got to like episode like 10, I think. Um, yeah, and that I can't believe that one's like 15 years old. Like, I'm sorry, I'm eating cheesecake too, and I'm trying not to like eat right into the mic. Acid, hello, hello. I I watch I would say a fair amount of new anime, but like I mean like I am like really attached to some of the older anime. So I think I watch a fair mix. I like all the pretty new animations, so let's see. I saw a couple how old are you questions. I'm in my mid 20s. I actually like every once in a while I'll like forget my age and I actually have to like recalculate it, and it's so ridiculous. I've actually confidently told people like the completely wrong age before. Ah, Bye, Sarah. Thank you for coming. Okay, Akka, look. Look, it happens. Oh my god, I just saw somebody mention the Inuyasha sequel. Pandemonium, yes. I am so excited for the sequel. And Vic, yes, I am in college. I finished school. I went to cosmetology school back when I was younger, and I did that for quite a few years. And uh, I I don't know why I ever thought that was a good choice for me. I'm incredibly introverted. Like friends of mine like know that sometimes I just like disappear for like a week or two at a time. Like I have very low um thresholds for like how much energy I can expend like talking to people and everything. So I don't know what part of my brain ever thought that was a good choice for me. Um but yeah, so I eventually decided to go back to school and everything because it was just way too much dealing with people all the time. So Crystal, yes, I do still have a tongue piercing. Ah, Lord of Pills. I can understand that. Communications is really interesting, but yeah, as like any kind of introvert or having any kind of social awkwardness or anything, I can, yeah, I feel that. Ninja, I have seen Promare. I very much enjoyed that. I don't normally enjoy trigger stuff, but I did really like Promare. I've watched both Full Metal Alchemists, and I really enjoyed both. No, I'm not a beauty school dropout. I finished and I got my license and everything. Um, I just it was quite a few years after I finished that it wasn't my thing. Bananarama. I've had a piercing since my tongue piercing I've had for quite a long time. I want to say I got that maybe 6 years ago. 6, 7 years ago. Addison. Yeah, I got into yes, there were quite a few schools that I applied to. And so I got into pretty much all the ones that I was hoping to. There's still one I'm waiting on hearing back from, but it's not one I expect to get accepted to. I think I've made my decision. So there was one school I really wanted to go to, and I was hoping to get a good amount of financial aid and everything for it. And did not, definitely did not. And the tuition came out to like after financial aid and everything, it came out to like $35,000 a year, and I was like, nope, I don't think that's for me. Probably no face reveal. I'd rather keep that kind of separate from this channel. Um, I've kind of mused on the idea of doing it before, but yeah, I think probably no face reveal. But Amanda, uh, I Amanda asked for those who didn't see this a little while back. Asked if I was a chill person, and I think in general I can be, but I I definitely can be a little neurotic, I suppose, sometimes. But I try to keep things very chill vibes here. Favorite anime would probably be probably Inuyasha. That was like the first show I ever saw, um, and I've loved it ever since. So, and yeah, Pandemonium, that price tag. Oof. Um, some of the other schools that I applied into were much cheaper. They were the school I'm planning on going to now is super affordable and everything. I'm lucky that I get a decent amount of aid, so that's been very helpful. I've been very lucky in that. Um, but yeah, some of the other schools and stuff is. Whew. Let's see. I I liked My Hero Academia. Um, I'm not super into it anymore. I kind of just mostly like seeing like Kirishima. He was my favorite character from that, and then my favorite character from Inuyasha, that was definitely Koga for sure. And yes, I have been to an anime convention. I usually go to about two or three a year. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. I've kind of had to cut back these last few years with school. I always fall so behind on the chat. Ultimate Potato, you've been noticed. Shattered Crystal, I don't I don't particularly like cuddling or touching or anything in real life. As a concept, it's super cute, but I don't know. I don't like being touched very much. I did hear about the new Inuyasha series coming out. My Facebook yesterday was pretty much me just screaming about it constantly. uh, let's see. Oh, I saw somebody mention that they hoped I was doing okay with the quarantine and everything. It was a little bit of a rough start, but I've kind of settled in and everything now. It is what it is. So I hope everybody else is doing okay with it. I know it can be rough, but I'm hoping to stream a little more often and everything. So hopefully I can kind of keep people company. Uh, let's see. By acid. Let's see. Music. I don't listen to a lot of music. But let me pull up my oh gosh, I can't even remember the name of it. I have oh gosh, what's the name of that streaming app? Spotify. Let me pull up my Spotify. I don't use it very much, obviously, but um, let me see what I've got on there. I don't really follow artists as a whole. I seem to have like one or two songs that I'll pick from different artists, and then um, I'll just like those one or two songs. Let's see. Hosier, I really like. He's kind of the exception. I do like a little bit more of Hosier stuff than I would normally like from any other artist. He's got that real like cryptid swamp creature vibes to his music. So I really like a lot of Hosier. I have a couple Aurora songs, Half Alive, To Kill a King, The Lumineers, Missio, Gorillas. So probably kind of like I said, like one or two songs from like a bunch of artists, but I don't listen to music that much. Not that it's not that I don't like music. It's more like it's hard for me to focus with any background noise. I prefer things to be like entirely silent. If possible, if I'm like working on like just around the house, like on a script or something, I can't focus. If I have sound, but if I like intentionally want something to focus on or like pass the time, if I'm like cleaning and I want to listen to something, I'll usually listen to an audiobook. So it's just sort of like there's not a lot of times where music necessarily fits in for me. So I do have a cat. It's actually a friend of mine. I was essentially cat sitting her cat while she was moving quite a ways away, and but now it looks like I might end up actually keeping him, which I'm completely fine with. I love him. He's a tiny little devil, but the cat's name is Binks. And which he's not a black cat, but it was still a cute name. Let's see, movies on Netflix. I don't watch a lot of movies. Harry Potter, I liked it a lot when I was a kid. I'm not one of those people that's still like hugely into it. But I mean, back when I was younger, I mean, I went to like the midnight releases for the books and dressed up for them and went to the movies and stuff. On like the midnight releases, all that. Uh, I used to really like let's see, horror movies. For movie genre, like specifically like supernatural horror movies, with ghosts or demons or whatever. But in general, I don't really watch them anymore. Um, I don't know. It's just not something I necessarily like sit down and feel like driven to do. But I try. In general, I try to limit like my media consumption. Um, which is why like on the topic of like for certain types of media anyway, of course. And I just generally don't. I don't know. I don't know if it's something about how long they are or something, and just like watching something for 2 hours is just hard for me. I don't know. Out of all the characters I've made, my favorite is probably hmm. That's hard because I like them all for different reasons. I think the ones that I I just generally enjoy seeing or like thinking about the most is probably the sibling gods. But honestly, the answer would probably change anytime anytime you asked. Uh, I just saw somebody complimenting Akka for doing such a good job as a mod, and I want to second that because I'm very appreciative of Akka and all my other mods. They've been very helpful to me, and I can't imagine what things would have been like without them for me. I do have some new ASMR videos planned. Now that my semester is all finished and I have the summer to myself, I'm gonna try and just kind of like bust out as many scripts as I possibly can. So, and I have quite a few ideas. I have a couple that are like maybe 75% written. So, the werewolf video, yes, trust me, there will be werewolves coming. I want to do a werewolf video so bad. I love werewolves so much. It's just, I think for me, the reason it's easier to make vampire videos is because, like, I don't personally like vampires as much, so I don't hold myself to like such a high standard. Whereas with like a werewolf video, I'm like, okay, this needs to be perfect. I want this to be exactly what I want out of a werewolf video. And so I just have such high standards for myself for that. Bye, Desetto. Thank you for stopping in. Oh, also, I saw somebody mention Mint and Kai earlier. And I would love to. I've had the chance to talk with both of them a little bit. And they're both so sweet. So I'm hoping to talk with them more. I can't remember what the original comment was. I'm sorry, but oh, I just saw Oreo's name pop up. Hello. I know one of my mods, for those of you who aren't on my Discord, had the idea for a Southern accent Naga, and I love Southern accents so much. So I'm like, I gotta try and learn how to do that. Accents are not my specialty, but the Southern accent Naga thing was just such a cute idea. uh, I saw somebody ask about. I'm sorry, I'm like trying not to be too slow, so I'm like skimming a little bit. So I apologize if I'm like not mentioning names as much. But I saw somebody ask about Patreon, and I I know I've been really like kind of undecided about this for a long time, but I am setting up a Patreon now. Um, so eventually there will be info on that. I'm hoping sometime this month. Um, but well, we'll see how things go. Uh, a horror movie night with Kai and Mint seems very fun. Hmm. My writing process is very. It's very much kind of a burst. Like, I'll get some inspiration and I have to write it out like right then. Like, um, it's kind of like all, and I need to get better about this, but it's like I'll write nothing for like days and days and days, and then like all of a sudden I'll like sit down and bust out like a script and a half or like 2,000 words or whatever, like in like a couple hours. Um, yeah, it's it's very inconsistent. uh, the Patreon is gonna be. I'm trying not to like, and not that there's anything wrong with creators who do this or anything. This is super valid. Like, but just personally, I'm trying not to put too much stuff behind like any kind of paywall. Um, like I don't want to put like videos or like audios behind uh, uh a paywall, but I want people to get something for the support they give me. And I completely understand that not everybody's available to it, especially right now. It's very difficult for a lot of people. So I want to kind of keep a balance of making sure that people who are maybe not in a place that can financially help, or just is that's just may not be something they're interested in doing, which is again completely fine and understandable. Um, I don't want them to lose out on any of my content, while I do still want people who um, are willing to do that, or are sacrificing that for me to get something. So it's kind of a delicate balance. I'm probably being a little too mindful of it, but yeah. So that's my ramble. I saw somebody say bye, Cloud. So if you're still here, bye, Cloud. Thank you for stopping in. Uh, favorite D&D characters. My bard that I made. That was I actually played in a D&D session with Hollow. For those of you who are familiar with Hollow VA, he DM'd a little group that I was in, and so that's actually where Cinnabar came from. And uh, I love my tiefling bard. I love bards in general. They're just the funniest characters, in my opinion. I have not played Magic the Gathering before. Oreo, I have no idea how to play Minecraft. It's I don't think it's a game for me personally, but I'm glad you enjoy it. Um all the types of games of like with like farming and building and like that kind of thing are, it's strange because the mechanics, like, or the repetitiveness of it is very similar to Omyoji, but it's just so hard for me to do in other games. I don't know why. Bananarama. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to pick out questions just as I see them. So if I don't respond to one of your questions or anything, all of you guys just say, feel free to repeat it later. I mean, don't spam the chat or anything, please. But like if I just may not see a question, so feel free to repost it later. Uh, but I don't really have any like written descriptions for them. But I do eventually. That's kind of actually why I'm starting the Patreon. Is a lot of that is going to go back into getting like art and stuff for characters, for icons, and just for people to have like visuals of a lot of the characters. So okay, I know that I pronounce I know I say Oreo, but it's just like it just comes out more naturally than Oreo for me. I think that's I believe the intended pronunciation is Oreo. Um but I just I'm gonna keep saying Oreo, I think. Unless you have a major problem with it. If you would prefer me say Oreo, I will absolutely do that. But I also think the nickname Oreo is like kind of cute, so I kind of want to just keep saying Oreo. Let's see. This is, I'm not altering my voice like a lot. This is kind of just naturally what happens when I try and speak a little quieter. But I mean, my normal voice is a little bit lower, but I don't mean to say that like I'm like faking this voice. But yeah, my normal voice at like a speaking volume is a little bit deeper. It's not too different though. Listening to the sound of your own voice is kind of strange, um, but to me in my head, my voice sounds very different than it does um, out loud. So it's kind of strange for me actually because it almost just doesn't register as my own voice when I listen back. But um, it was it was a little strange, but it wasn't too bad to get used to. Good night, Lord of Pills. Uh, the deal with the charming vampire. There may be a part two. Right now, there's no plans for it or anything. Um, but I think if I did that, I would want it. I wouldn't want to write that because that was one that was scripted for me. Um, so that's not something I would. I wouldn't want to write somebody else's character. I guess. Um, because I like the way that they did them and everything. I don't know. Um, so I mean, I won't rule it out as a possibility, but right now there's no plans. Um, oh, jeez. uh, Advice for people trying to get into audio stuff. I mean, especially if you're uh, for ASMR. I'm gonna kind of speak from like an ASMR perspective because that's the only real um perspective I have as far as audio goes. Um, Make it as easy on yourself as possible when you first start, because I got really into trying to get. I got a couple XLR mics and a little I forget what they're called, like the mixing boards. I found like a cheap one on a secondhand site. Um, yes, Kirby did write that. They did a fantastic job with that script, Bananarama. Um, but yeah, the so I originally got the two. They were Behringer C2 microphones, I believe, and they connected to an XLR input, and then that mixer connected to a USB. And so it was kind of a pain, and it made it harder to set up. So I would recommend a USB mic to start out if you're planning on recording. Of course, the Blue Yeti that's the one I use. That's the one a lot of people use. But it is a little expensive. I actually managed to find mine like for insanely cheap, actually secondhand locally, which is crazy because I live in like a small town and everything. So it was surprising to actually find somebody selling one for so cheap. But um, yeah, just kind of play around and again, try not to overwhelm yourself. Like just check out Audacity tutorials. I know there's actually a few on like how to mix ASMR type audio. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know. I guess I don't have anything particularly insightful. Yes, Jordan said pop filters are your best friend, and that's definitely like one of the first things you want to get. Those are very important in reducing kind of the some of the nastier noises that you'll get from speaking. Uh, my thoughts on horror games are kind of non-existent because I don't really play games in general. Uh, and I don't know if I've ever even really watched anybody play any horror games. Um, I don't really watch a lot of like game streams or anything, so um, head empty. uh, let's see. Uh, what have I been doing all quarantine? Is I have been doing schoolwork. It's been my last semester at community college before I transfer to a 4 year. So uh, I've been doing a lot of homework and just trying to stay caught up and everything. Um, Luckily, most of my classes were already online, which was great because the change, in that sense at least, was very minimal. I love seeing everybody's content from Animal Crossing. I don't play it because I got a Switch and I haven't really I did the same thing I do every time I get a game console. I'm so sure that I want to use it and play it and everything. And then I played on it for a couple weeks and I haven't touched it since. Um cuz I got Breath of the Wild and I got Pokemon Shield, mostly because I love my precious ghost son, Alistair. Um, but I've been really bad about actually picking it up. But I love seeing everybody's Animal Crossing stuff. Um, Making videos doesn't really figure into future career plans for me. It is something that I have decided that I will be like, starting the Patreon and everything for, but um, right now it's still something that I'm just planning on keeping as like something for fun. I enjoy doing it and I enjoy seeing people's reactions, and I like the idea that there are people that I might be able to help just a little bit, um, whether that be just like helping sleep, um, or whatever it may be. That's kind of my main incentive, and I just really enjoy the creativity of creating characters. Um, so yeah, it hasn't I don't really factor it into future career plans or anything at all. My I know there are a lot of other ASMR artists that want to go into voice acting or plan on it, and I wish them the best, of course. But I personally am not really interested in getting into that realm professionally. I don't know if you're still here or not, Sea Witch, but you're very welcome. And thank you for stopping by. Have a good night. Hello, Relude. that's hard to go off of insomnia medications. Um, yeah, I used to have a really easy time sleeping. I mean, I could nap all day and then sleep for 9 hours a night, and oh man, that was great. And I could sleep through anything. And now it's like I have blackout curtains, and I'll take like sleeping medicine, and I have some tea I got specifically because it has valerian in it, which is supposed to help you sleep, and I'll do all that, and then it just like I'll just like lay there for hours. It's like I don't know if it's just a a getting older thing or what, but yeah, I used to sleep so easily, and now it's a pain. Let's see. I saw a couple people asking what I was studying. I'm studying computer, like it. It's got a different name at every school, but it's like computer information technology. Some people call it information science, information technology, computer systems, etc., etc. But that sort of thing. Hey, oh, sorry, one second. I gotta stop my cat from clawing. Oh. Ugh, my little devil child. uh, I just saw somebody say something about computer science, and yeah, uh, I feel like my major is like the major for computer science nerds who don't want to have to do the calculus for computer science. um, which is absolutely me. Um, I tried taking calculus once, and that didn't go very well. I've Ninja, I've considered doing some more romantically oriented ASMR lately. Um I think the kind of content I like. Oh my gosh, he's doing it again. Bye Jordan, thank you for stopping in. And okay, what was I saying? Romance ASMR. um yeah, I the kind of content I like to make personally is I kind of like to create the content that I would like to see more of, but that I personally feel like is not as, not that it doesn't exist, but just that it's not as um, prevalent as I would like it to be. So I've seen a couple content creators that have done kind of mainly like M for M, like type romantically oriented audios. I think, and I don't want to say anything for sure. I may end up deciding not to do any. I may broaden them more, but I think um, any romantically oriented audios I do would be maybe more like queer oriented type content. Um, just because that's personally what I feel like I don't see enough of. And there are a couple ASM artists that I follow that do that sort of thing that I really enjoy seeing in the community. So But who knows? It's a lot of things are kind of impulsive for me, so um, I tend to get this idea of what I want to do, and then I have a hard time like broadening my horizons. So I'm trying not to restrict myself too much. Um, oh yeah, somebody mentioned calculus again. Oh, I can't with calculus. um, I did okay in the pre-calculus classes in like college algebra and what was the other one? Trigonometry and all that. Trigonometry really wasn't too bad. It sounded much scarier than it was, but I got kind of cocky for calculus, and I was like, yeah, I'll be able to pass this. Like even if it's with a C, like I'm okay with that. That's a pass. Like which is saying a lot for me because I'm normally I have very high standards for myself for education, but I was willing to take a C in calculus, and oh, by the time the first exam came around, I was like, nope, this is not going well. So I ended up having to drop that class, but let's see. Oh gosh, animation is so painstaking. I very much respect anybody that can animate. I took a few classes because I was considering majoring in it. When I first started back at school, I was kind of trying out a few different things. Um, it was really cool to be able to do, and I enjoyed the experience of having tried out animation. But it's not for me. um, yeah, the whole I don't want to get too much into math, but yeah, all the sine waves and everything. Like I said, I didn't actually find trigonometry bad really. I think the only thing that the thing that really stumped me with trigonometry was all of the formulas. Oh God, what were they called? Where it was like the equivalencies where you would relate like sine, cosine, and tangent and all that, and like all those like really complicated formulas, and you would have to do like proofs with them. Oh, oh, the worst. Proofs in math were absolutely terrible for me. For other ASM artists, for the kind of stuff that I'd like to see. Um, let's see. A couple I can list off a few that I really like. Of course, I think anybody that's heard me talk about other content creators that I like has heard me mention Hollow. Um, so Hollow has a lot of the fantastical sort of stuff that I really enjoy. Um, and his quality is so good. And then um, let's see. Lou Audio has some fantastic videos. I really enjoy his content. Dark and Twisted, Defrosted, Mint Maplewood. I can't remember. There's one name. There's a one that I was fairly recently introduced to. Um, he does more of the like yandere or tsundere type stuff. What's his name? Well, his the name he goes by is Kai, but I'm trying to remember his channel name. But I don't normally gravitate towards the tsundere and yandere type stuff, but his videos are really cute. I really like a lot of his content. Kai says things. Yes, yeah. Thank you guys. Oh, ASMR Zeitgeist has some crazy high quality like trigger videos. It's been quite a while since I watched any like traditional like trigger type ASMR. And I stumbled back upon ASMR Zeitgeist, and his quality is insane. Oh, I love Goodnight Moon. Goodnight Moon's videos are some of my favorite. I love the witch videos that she has, of course. But the way she sets up her props and everything are insane. Oh, and then, of course, Oreo Audio. I love his videos. His orc is super cute. Like, and he's heard me talk about Comel. Comel is his orc's name, and I literally will not ever stop gushing about how much I love Comel. But, and of course, I'm sure there's other there. I mean, my subscription list is ridiculous, so I'm sure there's plenty of others that are fantastic that I love that I just the name just didn't come to the top of my head right away. That's all. Rainy Day Audios is another one. I really like his Rainy Day Audios. His stuff is very emotionally intelligent. It's hard to describe, but he just seems so like his what's it called? His I think there's like the emotional quotient or something that's sort of like the emotional version of IQ, whatever it's called. His just seems like it's really high. Ephemeral Rift. Yes, I used to watch a lot of him. His Plague Doctor videos in particular. And then Zombie Cat, he does some fantastic audios as well. He has a, I think if I'm thinking of the right person, I believe I am. It's, I'm sorry, it's very hard to keep, like ASMR, like audio only content, straight sometimes. I believe he has a video about like a fairy king. That's just so adorable. Like he starts like speaking in rhymes at one point. And it's like, oh, it's so cute. Pocket Fox. I'm trying to think if I've I'm not very good with names, so I very possibly have watched Pocket Fox. But I just can't say for sure if I have or not. Names are not my thing, so the Tingles app, I've heard about it. I don't know a whole lot about it, so it's not something I'm currently really looking into. I believe that's I'm probably gonna say her name wrong. GB, I believe. I always say like it with like a g sound, but I think it's GB. I think that's her project. Yes. Um, but yeah, like I said, I've heard of it. I just haven't really looked into it. Hello, Bings. I'm not sure if you guys can hear him meowing or not. No. My thumbnails, I didn't draw. I can't draw. Um, I wish. No, I use a like a character creator called it's a website called PicCrew. It's linked in all the descriptions for the videos that I have a character icon for. I'm still working on getting more made and all those updated and everything. But yeah, I haven't none of them are mine. I haven't drawn any of them. I okay, so when I was younger with Studio Ghibli movies, I watched the first part. Oh, I got a alert on Discord. Um, oh, sorry, I'm all over the place. When I was younger, I watched the back when like this was I got this on DVD, I believe, back when Netflix still like sent out DVDs before they had a streaming service. I believe I watched Spirited Away, and like the part with her parents turning into pigs just scared me so bad. um and it just kind of like drove me off Studio Ghibli movies, and I just never really picked up any other ones. So I haven't really watched many. That's one of my goals, actually. My two like goals for my summer break is rewatch Inuyasha and watch like all the major like Ghibli movies. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how far I can get. Because I really want to watch Howl's Moving Castle. Howl seems super adorable. Um, let's see. What were some of the other ones? Um, yeah. What I can't remember the a lot of the Ghibli movie names offhand. I know I've seen um Kiki's Delivery Service, but that's been a very, very long time, so I probably need to rewatch it. But like, all the ones like Totoro and uh Ponyo, I think. Um but there's some other movies I've been meaning to watch too. I've been meaning to watch A Silent Voice and Your Name were two of some of the big ones that my I tried to get a friend of mine to watch them with me, but um she thought they were too sad, I think, and didn't want to watch them with me after we watched Wolf Children together. Princess Mononoke is like, oh man, hello, I just saw you in here. Hello. Um, it's so exciting to have you pop in here. um, but just on the mention of Princess, somebody mentioned Princess Mononoke. Ring ding, ring ding, please don't. Um, there's an anime called Mononoke that I love so much, and it's really trippy, and I can't even really say if it's good or not because it's just crazy. But every time I try and mention like, hey, have you watched Mononoke? Like, I always get the reaction of like, yeah, I love that movie, and I'm like, nope, little different. uh it's been a while since I've watched it. It's just like, with so many so many people that I follow and everything, it's kind of hard to keep up on um rewatching a lot of stuff. Of course, I have like my favorites that I'll rewatch. But so I can't remember Zombie Cats monster series like vividly offhand, but if I'm remembering correctly, I don't remember ever watching anything that I didn't like from him. So if I watched it, I'm sure it was something I enjoyed. Mint, no, I have not seen Tokyo Godfathers. I haven't heard of that before, I don't think, actually. Oh, no, I haven't seen Grave of the Fireflies. I've heard things, though. Alexis, yes, I watch a fair bit of anime. I've gotten kind of behind in the last few years with school and everything, but I'm trying to catch up. I try to keep as current as I can. I watched Given last season. I'm looking forward to the new, what is it, the new surfing anime that looks like it's coming out. I never watched Banana Fish, but I've heard. I had friends that really enjoyed it. Favorite Disney movies. Okay, so I'm not a huge Disney person, and I feel like my favorite Disney movie like really reflects that. Because my favorite Disney movie was The Black Cauldron, which for anybody who knows what The Black Cauldron is, it's very different from most of Disney's stuff. Um, and it's I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think The Black Cauldron actually like almost bankrupted Disney. It did so bad when it came out. uh let's see. Tokyo Godfathers. I don't think I've heard of it. I'll have to make a note to check that out, though. Yeah, I'm looking at Google Images, and I don't think I've ever even actually seen like anything for it. Fugo Keiji. The one about the the rich guy that everybody loves. uh uh yeah, I've seen that around. I don't know if it's one that I would particularly love. I think that's just one I'm gonna have to watch and try, but uh Blue Exorcist and IQ, I love both very much. What D&D class fits my personality? I don't know. Let's see. D&D classes. What do you guys think? What class do you think fits my personality? I haven't played a lot of D&D, so I don't have like stuff like this memorized, but let me check over the some of the different classes. I don't know, because I don't know, all the classes seem cool to me, so it's like hard for me to pick one out because I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not cool enough to be that class. I can't remember if I responded to this already, but I love Blue Exorcist and IQ. Both of those are some of my favorites. I am not actually a witchcraft practitioner. I personally do not subscribe to any like types of beliefs like that or anything. I just really enjoy the aesthetic and the fantasy of it. I don't have any problem with like furry stuff, but I am not personally a furry. I never watched Dr. Stone. Let's see. Cleric, Bard, or Druid seems to be the class I'm seeing most from you guys. Like, I want to say Bard just because I love Bards so much, but I don't know if that actually fits. Yeah, I mean, the way that, the way that most people play Bards as very, like, flirty and charismatic and everything, I think maybe doesn't suit me so well, but I think maybe Cleric would probably fit best if I had to pick one. Chaotic, neutral, or lawful? I would say probably. I'm kind of a goody two shoes. I would say probably lawful. Good luck on your AP exams. I saw somebody say they had AP exams tomorrow, so good luck. Favorite character from Haikyuu? My baby boy Tanaka. I also very much love Bokudo. Tanaka and Bokudo are easily my favorites. I love Kuro also. Man, that really is like what my last D&D campaign was like. And it was funny because again, for those of you who have watched the I can't remember the title, the devil video that I recently did. That was my character in a D&D campaign, and he was like a really like a sweet, like just kind of charming dude. But every time that I used this skill in D&D called Vicious Mockery, which is basically where you just mock somebody so hard it causes them psychic damage, it just succeeded like every time. And I just kept getting high rolls on it, and it was it was so funny. It became like one of the memes for our campaign, and yeah, that was really funny. Yes, Ilya, he is definitely coming back at some point. I just saw you say. Oh, excuse me. I just saw you saying bye 707. Bye. Thank you for stopping in. And some dork. I apologize. I wish I had something better to call you, but that's just the name that's there. So, I would highly recommend Haikyuu. It's so cute. It's just really like, it's got these really like calm like vibes. I don't know. I mean, like some of the characters can be like spastic and all, but it's so cute. I would highly recommend Haikyuu. Tokyo Ghoul. I didn't get super into Tokyo Ghoul, but I really liked the blonde friend. The really, of course, I always like the sunshine characters. Sleep Gods will be back eventually. I always put them off because their video editing is such a pain. Because I have to split the audio and edit the timing and all that. It's a pain. But I love them very much, so it's worth it. I have heard of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I watched a couple episodes and I did really like it, and the art for it is amazing, but I haven't really watched much more yet. I'm excited to though. It's very cute. Let's see. I don't really know what I'm planning for my Sleep Gods. I know one idea that somebody had a while back in one of my streams was because it's Nox and Somnus are they seem very like catty and kind of gossipy, and so there was an idea of doing something of them just like gossiping about other gods, which I really want to do, but that one I've tried scripting that a couple times and it just hasn't kind of come out how I wanted. So that's the idea eventually, but there may be others that come to mind, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them yet, but where did I get the name Salem? It's just a name I've always really liked. I like the vibes of it. And so it's just one I decided to go with. And I wanted more of a kind of name than my previous channel name on ASMR, which doesn't really shorten to anything other than like which a lot of people ended up pronouncing un, which still I feel like doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. So what do I do when I'm not uploading? There's definitely a joke in there somewhere about like the month-long periods that I've gone without uploading. A lot of the times though, honestly, it's been school, but besides that, sleep as much as I can. I'm a very tired person. So that, or a lot of my friends are online, so I try and keep up with them. Read. Nothing very exciting. Oreo, I actually have not had any root beer in like a couple weeks. I've been trying to. I know this is gonna like shock anybody who is there. Hey, Banks. I almost like yelled across the room at my cat with my mic like right in front of my mouth. No, yeah, I haven't really drank any barks in a couple weeks. This is gonna really, I think, surprise anybody who was in my previous streams, but I've been trying to switch to tea because I found a company that makes teas that don't that don't taste like tea, which I really like. It's called it's David's Tea is the brand, but they have like teas with like marshmallows and like crazy stuff in it. So, and I love root beer, but it's like it was ruining my teeth. Like it's still easily my favorite drink, but I just, I can't have it all the time. So I've been trying to switch to tea, and I just got actually a couple more teas in the mail today from another company called Harney and Sons. I got honeysuckle flower, Victorian Banks. He's trying to scratch up the carpet a whole bunch tonight. But yeah, I got what was it? Victorian London Fog was one, honeysuckle flower, and then I got mint chocolate tea. So I tried the Victorian London Fog earlier, and it was okay. But there was actually one I was trying to replace from David's Tea. It was oh gosh, what was the name? Cream of Earl Grey. I love the Cream of Earl Grey from David's Tea. But I just I don't know, I just wanted to try something different. So I heard the Victorian London Fog had a fairly similar profile in that it was a I believe it's an Earl Grey tea that has vanilla in it. And there's one other ingredient they shared, but it's not. I mean, if you like tea, it's probably good, but yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I try and make my tea taste as much not like tea as I can anyway, but like I put like a bunch of vanilla almond milk in it, and I put honey in it, and I'm trying out the honeysuckle flower tea right now. I think it's cooled down well enough. Let me see how this is. This one's okay. I don't let's see. It kind of it almost reminds me of again, it's if you like tea, it's probably delicious. But it still kind of tastes like Brussels sprouts to me. It's got that like vegetal thing to it. But part of the reason I've been trying to switch to teas anyway is because I'm a very cold person, and I just feel like drinking root beer cold like all the time was not helping. It was just like making me feel like so cold. I mean, like I'm the type of person that will like wear like thermal socks with like pajama pants and a shirt and a sweatshirt and a jacket with an electric blanket with a space heater. Oh, so loud, Binks. Binks. I am on the pineapple on pizza train. I'm aware that's a controversial statement, but the salty and the sweet contrast is delicious. Cat-sized version of a creature in D&D. I don't know the D&D creatures that well, so I can't say, to be honest. Yeah, but yeah, that's why I've been trying to switch to like drinking tea since it's warm. It's just much better. It keeps me heated up a little more. Binks. But yeah, so I haven't loved the two teas I've tried from David's Tea or not David's Tea, from Harney and Sons. I think because they're a more traditional tea company. Therefore it tastes more like tea, so I like it less. But I'm so sorry. I know I keep seeing people thinking that Binks is their cat. He's a very vocal cat. The second brand with the teas that are more tea-like, that was Harney and Sons. And then the one with the teas that don't taste like tea that I like, that was David's Tea. I'll have to keep Numi in mind then with if Harney and Sons strikes out with the mint chocolate tea. Because David's tea had a couple. They had like a hot chocolate tea and a chocolate chai tea or something. And neither of them were great. See, coffee. The reason I've been trying tea is because I do not like coffee. I don't like bitter. I don't like bitter foods at all. I'm very sensitive to bitter foods. So like, the only way I can drink coffee is if it's got like a flavored like vanilla or hazelnut creamer or something like that with and it's like mixed like half and half hot chocolate. Yeah, I've tried coffee for a long time, like every once in a while, because it smells delicious. I think coffee smells amazing, but as soon as I taste it, the taste is just so different. The tea flavors that I like, there's the one that I got from David's Tea that had valerian in it was actually okay. It's that one's called Mother's Little Helper, I think. And then there's, oh gosh, what were some of the other ones? Let me Forever Nuts, I think, is another one that they have that I really like, and it turns like this really cute like pink color when you brew it, especially when you mix it with milk. Because I think it's, you can't like taste it or anything, but I think the tea like particles are like coated in like beet powder or like something like that. So it turns it pink and it's really pretty. Let me pull up my orders from David's Tea, see what I've... Maple syrup oolong. Oh, that's another really good one from David's Tea. Jay, hello. Thank you very much for your comment. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you enjoy the videos. I don't know how long I'm gonna stream for. Maybe a bit longer. I mean, I don't have any plans. I know it's kind of late for a lot of people, but I mean, it's not like I have anywhere to go. Yeah, great medicine is not great. I mean, I don't really prefer the taste of any medicine, to tell you the truth, but Binks. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Akka. It's so late for you. I'm so sorry. You don't have to stay. I don't want you to feel like you have to be here. Like, I wasn't even expecting you or Ars to like pop in or anything, but I mean, I appreciate that you're here. I just don't want you to feel like you have to be or like you have to stay or anything. Oh gosh, it's so late for some of you. I guess I can't really say anything though. I stay up way too late too, so it's only like 10:40 for me, so thank you so much, Akka. I appreciate you. Sea Witch, bye, good night. Thank you for coming. I am on the west coast of the US, so it is 10:40 for me right now. Oh, Oreo, I wish I like I want to say that you shouldn't do that, but also like that's the only thing my body is capable of doing, so I feel you. There's so many. That East Coast gang is like so numerous, which is really surprising. Like I feel like every time like time zones come up in my like Discord or chats or anything, like it's always like East Coast gang just dominates. Ah, bye, Mint. Thank you so much for stopping in. That was such a nice surprise. Anna music. I don't think so. I haven't heard of it. But I will make a note to check it out. Gosh, I have like I have way too many tabs open, and anytime I try to open a tab uh, to make a note to check something out later, I always struggle finding my stream tab again. Indifferent Colorado gang. Hmm. Yeah, graffiti. I feel that. Yeah, same here. Stay up late, wake up late. Which I hate. I hate the connotations of like laziness that waking up late comes with, because it's like I'm awake just as long. It's just like a shifted schedule is all. Like I mean, every once in a while, I'll really try and get on like a normal schedule and like go to bed by like 1 at the latest and get up in the morning and stuff. But I mean, it never lasts very long. Like I just can't keep that schedule up. I don't know how you can write and like listen at the same time, Ario. That's that's crazy to me. Like if there's like any noise, like I'm just like I cannot focus. I have not been to Seattle before, no. Disney's Twisted Wonderland. I really like some of the character designs, but I don't know anything about it beyond that. Uh, I do not speak a second language. I'm trying to learn Japanese. Um, I was doing pretty good about it until all of this IRL mess started, though, and my motivation for everything kind of tanked. So just for my own like mental health and stuff, I was kind of like, okay, I need to put this aside for a little while and not give myself anything else to stress out about. I've taken a couple college classes. I plan on taking more. Um, so Japanese, I mean I can understand very basics, but um, I took 4 years of Spanish in middle school and high school, and none of it stuck. um, so I would really like to learn Spanish again, though. Um, and honestly, I should have just gone for Spanish before Japanese because it's so much faster and it's so much more accessible in the area I'm in. Um, but you know, now it just feels like I'm too far into Japanese to switch for a different language, and I don't have the time to do both. But I just love language. I like um, just linguistics in general. Um, I mean, it's not something I know a lot about, but I like listening to talks and stuff about it just as kind of like a hobby. Like there's a um, professor on language learning um, named Stephen Krashen, and I listen to like I think I've watched like every video of his on YouTube. I really like his seminars. I am I am not a college kid per se. I am in college, but I'm a college adult in my mid-20s. I'm a returning student. Uh, yeah, I mean, I really like the method that I used to learn kanji and vocabulary is wani kani, and it's been really helpful. But like I said, I kind of had to drop it for a couple months, and so we'll see how when I get back how. Oh, I know it's gonna be so bad. I'm gonna be so rusty. Oh wow, Aka, you know so many languages. I didn't know that. That's so cool. Thanks. I can't count in Japanese. Oh, it's been a while, so I'm gonna be rusty. Like if if you give me enough time, I can figure out like any of the numbers. But like when you start getting into like 10,000s, like that's where I'm like, oh wait, because then where you switch with the mon, um, for anybody that knows Japanese, that's that one that throws me off. And like trying to remember like the difference between like 10,000 and like 100,000 is like it's weird to me. Banks gets edited out of every single video. German seems super cool. Like that's one of the languages that I would like that's on my list of like would eventually like to learn. Like I have languages that I have no current plans to learn, but that I would really like to pick up as a hobby later. Like I prefer like harsher sounding languages. Russian is one that I really would love to learn eventually. Um a lot of the I fully admit I'm not very good at like separating the languages of like there's a few like European countries. Let me see if I can remember what they are because I haven't really thought about it in a while. That I would like to learn like languages from like um there we are like Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, like that kind of area. Um, the languages like for those countries, I believe if I'm remembering correctly, I really like the sound of, so I would really like to learn those eventually. I've heard some of them are more difficult than others. Um, but and then of course I feel like knowing kanji in Japanese is like I know it's certainly not a one-to-one translation for Chinese, but it seems like the classes that I've had with Chinese students in them, the Chinese students seem to deal well enough with the kanji that there were enough like relations um that once you know like the basic like 2000 kanji in Japanese, it seems like it would almost be kind of a waste not to then learn like Chinese. Of course the grammar and everything is all entirely different, but yeah, I think Chinese is another one I would like to learn. uh And about next video estimate will hopefully be next week. I'm trying to stay weekly, but my success has been, well, mixed, we'll say. Yeah, I mean when I was like younger, like way younger, I liked reading about like witchcraft and all of that. So but I mean that was like 10 years ago or more. Um so my I had a passing interest when I was younger. Now, um, again, it's I just like the aesthetic of it. I don't really subscribe to the beliefs or anything really. But oh, there's a yeah. Speaking of Norwegian, there's a artist that did a song for a show called Terror in Resonance that, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. The song was called Von, just like VON, and I believe that was the language, was Norwegian. It's so pretty. I think if you just like YouTube like Terror in Resonance or Zonkyo no Terror, just with VON, it should pull it up. But so pretty. Yeah, speaking Chinese definitely seems like a total trip just because the tonality of it. Um, I'm not sure if I would be interested enough to want to learn to speak it. I love the way it sounds though. Um, but maybe more interested in reading it. Um, but yeah, I think for reading it's kind of a toss up with Japanese and Chinese, which is kind of more difficult. I think it just depends which areas you prefer. Like obviously you have to memorize more symbols, but I mean as far as I know, the characters in Chinese, again, I have never looked into Chinese, so I don't want anybody to take anything I'm saying as gospel or anything, but as far as I know, the characters only have like one meaning, whereas in Japanese, they could have multiple meanings and multiple pronunciations, and it's pronounced different when you put it with like in different words. So, um, yeah, like I said, I the grammar structure of it from a very basic level seems simpler though. So again, it's every language is going to have things that are more and less difficult, but oh, Irish Gaelic. Oh, yes. I love listening to like any like Irish or Scottish accents too are my favorite. That's why I was so I was very hyper aware of the quality of my own um impersonation when I did a video. Um which from what I was told it wasn't terrible, but I did I wanted to do a video with an Irish accent so bad. I just love the way they sound. I don't know if I've ever really heard any Bulgarian. I can't think of like any time that I've really heard it or seen what the language looks like or anything, so I can't say much on that. Thank you for stopping by, gamer. It was nice having you in the chat. I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here, chilling, drinking tea, eating some cheesecake. So I'm just gonna kind of keep streaming as long as everybody's here, and I'm probably gonna stream again soon, probably like within the week, just because I have some extra time to myself and everything, so I thought it would be nice to hop on here and hang out. I've wanted to for a while, but I just hadn't gotten around to it, I guess. Don't worry, I'm not gonna forget my tea. That's so funny. Every time in Kai's live streams, everybody is just like hounding him about forgetting his tea. But no, I I'm not drinking tea in the most what would you call it? Classical format. I can't with the tiny teacups. I can't. I drink a lot of liquid. So I have like a 32 ounce one of those like double walled I forget the name. I can't remember names for anything. But one of those like 32 ounce bottles. So I just brew a bunch at the same time and then keep it in there, and I'll usually fill that up like 3 or 4 times a day. My height is 5'7". I am extremely average height. We were actually just talking about this in my Discord. And I really wish I was taller. A lot of my family is very tall. Most of them are very tall. One of my cousins is like, or he's like my second cousin, I think. He is maybe 12 or 13 or so, and he's like 6'4". Oh, thank you for stopping in, Day. But yeah, I would prefer to be taller. But I would also be okay with being shorter. I just don't love being average height. Thank you, Calibus. I appreciate it. My cousin's name is not Tom. And I'm from California. Mm-hmm. 6'4". What the heck? I want to be 6'4". But I'm not from like, like there's that stereotype of California where like it's like everybody's either from like LA or San Francisco, and I'm not really anywhere near either. He's starting to whine more because it's about his food time. Bye, Ivy. Thank you. I feel you on wishing you were a 13-foot tall cryptid, but I would take either of those things. I would take 13-foot tall, or I just wish I was a cryptid. Which, to tell you the truth, like, I'm not that far off. I just kind of disappear sometimes. The Fresno Nightcrawler. I'm sorry, this is like eating ASMR right now. But I was craving cheesecake so bad. My birthday is not, my birthday's not really coming up anytime soon. I know, I was like eating the cheesecake and then like drinking my tea, and I'm like, personally, eating ASMR is not my favorite, so I try to like not to do that to other people, because I know the reaction that some people have to it, because I'm kind of one of those people. But I mean, it's just I can't sit here and just like not like, I can't not munch for like 2 hours. The tea I'm drinking right now is honeysuckle flower, and it kind of tastes like asparagus, or Brussels sprouts, I think is what I said earlier. The super chats, maybe by next time. I'm trying to figure all of that out, because I just recently kind of decided to like monetize a little bit and stuff, so that will be eventually. Let me see if he'll let me pick him up so I can bring him closer for a high definition meow. Oh, okay, let's see. Okay, as long as he tolerates it, I'm just gonna kind of keep him here. See if we get any cute cat noises. You got anything to say, buddy? Mm. Of course, now I've got him up here and he's got nothing to say. He's silent. Nothing? Nothing, buddy? He does know what he's doing. You're so quiet now, buddy. He really did say feed me and then we'll talk. Good night, Gabby. Thank you for stopping in. Come on. You got something to say? Mm. Nope, I'm letting him go. He ain't got nothing to say. I'm gonna go feed him real quick. Oh, now, of course. I'll be right back. All right. He has been fed. He's munching. The distant meows. Oh, trust me, there are some days that he is not very cute. I love him, but he is a little troublemaker. He's a plastic gremlin is what he is. Anytime there's a plastic bag left out anywhere, anything made of plastic that crinkles at all, like he will just like violently try to chew on it. Tess, hello. I don't know what kind of cat he is. He was a friend of mine, or he belonged to a friend of mine who moved in with another friend of mine. And then when the first friend moved out, the second friend kept him. And then the second friend moved very far and was not able to bring the cat. So I started cat sitting him until the second friend was able to bring the cat to where they are. And now it looks like they may not be able to do that at all. So it looks like he may be my cat now. But in short, he's kind of passed hands a couple times. So I don't really know what he is or where he came from. I don't know where any of the pictures of him are offhand. I know there were some I had posted in my server, I think, a little while back. But I don't know where they are. Otherwise. Let's. Oh, that is where I showed him. Yeah. I was thinking it was in the server, but actually that doesn't. Thank you, Akka. Yes, that is where I showed him. So I should be able to grab a picture from in there. Hunting for a Binks picture right now. Ooh, okay, here we are, got him. What do you... what? You were fed. I fulfilled my obligations. There we go. There's a couple of links to Bink's pictures in the chat. I will tell Binks you love him. Good night, Mina. Thank you for stopping in. What? My opinion on russet potatoes. I don't know if I have an opinion on russet potatoes. I, in general, enjoy potatoes. Why does your voice remind me of every doctor that I've ever spoken with? That reminds me of, I don't know who was around who might have seen it, but a while back I made a collage on that I posted on my Twitter. And the doctor, that's not the first time I've ever gotten the doctor comment. Because I made a collage of all the comments that I have gotten saying I sounded like somebody else, and I wonder if I can pull that up. That was a while back, but it was so fun. And it doesn't really happen anymore. Like once in a while, of course. I think anybody that's got like an audio channel is gonna get comparisons to other people. But man, they were the funniest comparisons. And it was like a lot. I was getting a lot of people that were saying I sounded like other people, like all the time. Oh, who were they? I know I have this picture somewhere. Here we go. Got it. Yes, I am. I would like to do some collabs. I have some kind of in mind, in progress. So we'll see. Have not watched Beastars, but I eventually plan on it. And I'm glad you liked my Kitsune video. That was another one of those videos like where if you were here earlier, I was talking about I have very high standards for myself for when I eventually do a werewolf video, and the Kitsune one I was very like picky with myself about it too. So because actually Dark and Twisted Whisper has a Kitsune video that was like he had posted a sequel to it, but he had an original one that was done like a while back, and that was one of my favorite videos for a very long time, and so that was like kind of one of my inspirations for doing a Kitsune video too. Oh, I saw somebody, they were saying goodnight to somebody. Good night to whoever we're saying goodnight to. I apologize, I didn't see. But yeah, so this picture of I'm just remembering all the people that were saying like I sounded like somebody else. And it's like I actually had to break it up into two separate pictures because there were so many, and it's like some of them like I just like I don't know. I personally don't necessarily hear it, but like Ryland Adams was the one I got so much. Probably like 60% of the people that were saying I sounded like somebody were saying like they thought I was like a secret Ryland Adams channel. But man, I got James Charles. I got somebody literally said you sound like my doctor. Cole Sprouse, Michael Sarah. I got a fair bit. Tom from Star versus the Forces of Evil. I got that one a couple times. Let's see, was there any others? Yeah, more Ryland, more Michael Cera, more Cole Sprouse. Honestly, I'm probably not the best person to go to for voice acting because I don't vary my voice very much. Not nearly as much as some other ASM artists do. Um, yeah, I don't have a supreme amount of control over my voice, so I don't know if I would be the best one to ask for voice acting tips in particular. I do. Oh, excuse me. I do have a favorite ice cream flavor, cookies and cream. Also, though, I really like sherbet. Sherbet's very good. 6 months from now, there's just going to be a video I post, and it's just going to be ASMR. This was a social experiment for the Cole Sprouse thing. Does anybody else remember that? Was anybody else around on? I know this wasn't that long ago, but the whole thing with Cole Sprouse on Tumblr. Yes, the familiar video. Yeah, I want to make more videos that have more diversity in the experience of the viewer. One that I've gotten a suggestion for a couple times is videos where the viewer is not the human, where the person they're talking to is the either a human or something else, but where the viewer is. I mean, I say human in that which in my role plays tends to be it's almost more of a category than a job, and I think this is something that comes up like thematically with me a lot, that I like the idea of creatures that kind of are categorized rather than being like explicit races. um like one thing I'll talk a little bit about a script I'm working on now is I'm actually doing again, the script may not work out, so I'm not promising anything. But I have an incubus script I'm trying to write, and he mentions something about how incubi are not necessarily they're not demons. First of all, they have like a demonic lineage, but it's like they can be any different race. It can be um, like they can be the children of like demons and like elves or humans or whatever else. Um, yeah, so I kind of like playing around with that concept, and it's sort of like the same with vampires, like um, because I mean, as long as Kirby is okay with the idea, I kind of headcanon the script that they wrote for me as like something that exists in the universe that I've created. Um, and obviously that character is a vampire, but Finn is also a vampire, but I see them as very different things. Um, I mean, there are some defining traits that put them into that category, but they're not going to be exactly the same. I don't know. I just like that concept where there's less rigidity in um, what it means to be a certain type of creature. It's fun to play around with. Letting out my inner snake. Did I like hiss or something? Not hiss. That's not what I meant. um, like make a like a snake sound. Let's see. I saw the comment about being a vegetarian, and uh, I'm also a vegetarian, but I'm a pescatarian because I still kind of allow myself like fish to eat. Um, but yeah, I feel that ice cream and a lot of desserts and stuff would be hard for me to give up. So I respect people that are able to go the whole mile. Is that the saying? Yeah. And go vegan, but just not for me. Good night, Sam. Thank you for coming. And also, good night, Tess. Thank you for coming. Favorite creature. This one's hard. It changes every time you ask me, to be honest. Like in general, I love werewolves. Um, and then, but I also love like pretty much anything that's like part like animal, like kitsune. I really like. Again, werewolves. I love me a good demon. I do enjoy a good demon. Um Okay, Oreo, look. I may be furry oriented. I am not a furry, but I do enjoy animalistic creatures. Aka, why do I feel like that's something you're not gonna forget? Aka. Uh, I used to draw. I drew a lot in high school, but not anymore. I want to. It's gosh, there's so many things I want to get back to eventually, but it's just the time. I want to learn languages, and I want to learn to draw again, and I want to learn to play the piano, and I want to learn to play the guitar, and it's just a lot. There's a lot of learning, not enough time. Oh no, yeah, I have. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a furry at all. Um, one of the friends that I took Japanese class with, actually, they were a furry and they were super into it. Um, it's just not a community or anything I'm involved with, is all. Yes, guitar. I started taking guitar lessons before all of this quarantine thing started happening. And I don't particularly um like the idea of like video classes, like online classes for something like that. Um and so the place in my town that was I was going through, they offered it, but um it just wasn't. I wasn't thrilled with that idea. But I mean, I literally started like guitar lessons like the week before. They were like, okay, we all need to not be doing this. So, uh, my favorite holiday is probably Halloween. I like Halloween. Although I also I like Valentine's Day, but not for the holiday. I like it because of all the chocolate. And I like it particularly for the day after with all of the cheap chocolate on discount. If I could travel anywhere, I had a trip to Japan, tickets booked and everything. Like we were actually going to be leaving tomorrow, before all of this again happened. Um, but unfortunately, fortunately, everything was I was able to get a full refund on the rooms I had booked, on the tickets and everything. Um, but yeah, I had a trip to, like I said, to leave to Japan like tomorrow. So, um, that was unfortunate, but that'll probably be the first place I travel like internationally. Um, but I do have I actually had another trip as well, that um I was planning on doing at the end of this summer, but we'll see if that still happens. So it is what it is. But me and my friend have already been rescheduling to go next year. So if nothing else, it's more time to save up at least. Yes, it was very, very lucky to be able to get a full refund on everything. That was really nice. What is this? What? It is what it is. I saw a question about if I had siblings. Oh, this is a while back in the chat. I apologize, but yes, I do have siblings. Some flavor. um, my favorite dessert is, oh, I don't know. I've really like I didn't really like sweets or desserts or anything for a while, like, and then I suddenly got like way back into like desserts. um just straight up chocolate, honestly, is probably it. My town actually used to have this little like dessert festival. I don't know what happened to it. I haven't seen anything about it in years, but favorite subject in school, if we're talking about like high school, probably, it's weird because I would say probably English, but also English classes were also the thing that made me not like reading for like years, because I would read all the time as a kid. I would like My parents would like make me go outside because I was staying inside all day just reading, and I would take a book outside and I would just go read like outside, like in the shade. Um, and so, but there was a lot of like all the mandatory reading and stuff in English class like drove me off of it for years after high school. Um, so, but in college, my favorite classes have probably been the classes for my major, my all of my IT classes. I'm okay with white chocolate, to be honest. I know that can be a little controversial, but I appreciate white chocolate. All those Hershey's cookies and cream bar. I haven't had one of those in a long time. I don't think I've even seen them in a long time. But those were some of my favorite candies as a kid. Jay, thank you for stopping by. I really like dark chocolate too, but I have a dumb story about a friend and I with dark chocolate. We were both like convinced that we like dark chocolate better, and this was back in like high school, or very shortly after, and we were both like, yeah, I love dark chocolate so much. Oh, like I really like dark chocolate. Like the darkest chocolate you can get is my favorite. Like I love it. The darker the chocolate, the better. Um and well, um so we're at the store, and we're both like, let's get some chocolate. And I made the decision. Well, we together made the terrible decision of being like, okay, let's get the darkest chocolate that we can get. And it was some stupid amount. It was like 87% cocoa or cacao or whatever. And it was so bitter. It was so bitter. It was not good. um and so we're both like nibbling it, like trying to convince each other that we really like it. And so, and like I said, this was like 87% like dark chocolate. It was so bitter. There was no like sugar or milk or anything in it. And so we're both like just trying to eat it. We're like, it's so good. It's so rich that I can only have just a little bit at a time. No. It wasn't like the cooking chocolate. It was like a chocolate bar in like the candy aisle. Um, and we were, oh my God, I just remember we were like in the car, just like, yummy. And it was so funny because we were both like, we've talked about it now, and we're both like, yeah, that was disgusting. It was so bad. But we were trying to convince each other we liked it so hard. Me and my friend, we're both stubborn. That was all. That we weren't, I don't know what we were trying to prove. Oh, but it was so funny. Oh, gosh. My dream my dream room, like, this is actually something I've been planning because when I move for school, I'm going into off-campus housing. And so I've been trying to like plan my apartment, and I can't decide if I want to do something like, because I want like, an aesthetic. And I can't decide if I want like cottagecore, which I know everybody like tries, but it just seems cute. Or if I want to go like a little spooky, um, or just like all out like super nerdy. Um, so I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Um, and I'm majoring in for Serena. I'm majoring in computer information technology. Yeah, see, the problem is like I like cottagecore in theory, but I feel like a core component of it is the fairy lights, like the Christmas lights, and I do not like those. um like nothing wrong with those that do, but I just do not like Christmas lights like in my house like normally, and I think it's they just look kind of messy to me, and I don't know. And I just feel like it's really hard to do cottagecore in a nice way that looks like magical, like without them. Um, See, but I feel like the LED, like the strip lights, I feel like those look like those are like gamer core. I am not Wiccan, and I am not really interested in Wicca by any chance. Like, not my thing. Like, again, like aesthetically and thematically and all of that. Yes, but not in a personal sense. Yeah, but I like the lace curtains and stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm very like there's certain things that I'm like really picky about, and I just feel like cottagecore is one of those things that I should just like leave as one of those nice like just I should just enjoy looking at like aesthetic pictures of it on Facebook. um so I'm thinking more towards the spookier, the nerdy kind of vibes, but because I mean like I'm not gonna lie, like that's been like the dream is just to have like some, like when you're like a little weeblet, just wanting like all your dorky posters and stuff up everywhere. Yeah, Salem is a Facebook mom. You're not that off. You're not terribly wrong. Hey, Neon, we're majoring in the same thing. That's neat. Viking core. That sounds pretty cool. I do not have dimples or freckles, no. Oh gosh, lots of new people in the server. I just noticed that. Anybody who joined the Discord, just gonna say welcome to you over here. I just happened to peek in there real quick. Advice for staying motivated with schoolwork. That is a topic. Um, that's a hard one because for me, like, it's just kind of become a personal motivation because I didn't do very well in high school because I didn't really apply myself. Um, and looking back at that now, I definitely like regret it. It's sort of one of those things that I'm like, I don't want to say regret because I try not to really regret things. It just doesn't seem helpful to me. Um, but I wish I had done differently. Um, so when I started in community college, that was kind of my thing. I kind of like um I was like, I didn't do very well in high school. I didn't like apply myself. I didn't really get to see what I was capable of. And so now coming back this time, I don't want to do that. Um so I've that's just been kind of my motivation, and um because I did eventually decide I wanted to transfer and go to a 4-year too. That of course was inspiration to keep my grades up, so I would actually get accepted somewhere. Um, but Yeah, and I mean, a lot of my classes were online too, because my school is quite a ways away from me. So, um, it's actually been really funny seeing everybody dealing with the transition to online classes. Because and right now it's a little different because there's a lot of um, extra stress and everything on people, um, besides just the different format. But I've seen a lot of people who just really do not like online classes like anyway, which is so funny to me because that's been sort of like the standard of my college experience so far. Um, and I really enjoy them, but you do have to really stay on top of it. Um, but it's nice for me not having to go out so much. Yeah, the gifted student thing. Yeah, yep, I feel that. Yes, I am into D&D. I haven't played very much. I've only been in one campaign, but I very much admire it, and I'm looking forward to hopefully playing more. I don't know if I would really do a more sci-fi oriented ASMR script, just because sci-fi, it's I don't dislike sci-fi. I definitely prefer fantasy. Um, but it's just not really a strength of mine. I don't really I don't know, I'm not like super inspired to make anything for sci-fi, but if the inspiration ever hits, then yes. I just can't promise that. Rockin' Robin, I'm doing the same thing. Transferring from a community college to a 4-year university is definitely a little stressful. Hard or high fantasy? I actually really like urban fantasy personally. Um, I like fantasy that mixes magic and these creatures and everything with kind of like normal life is really really interesting to me. Um, I do like magic that's like magic systems that are very oh, how do I put it? Overt, I guess. Like, like things in Dragon. No, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say like Dragon Ball Z. I don't know why that's what came out of my mouth. Lord of the Rings is what I was trying to say. Um, but Lord of the Rings, like magic systems like that, where like magic, no, like there is magic, but it doesn't really show up very often in the ways that I would like to see it. Um, I don't know. I guess it's kind of hard to explain. It's more of like more of a feeling. I don't necessarily prefer soft or hard magic systems. Um, I I do admit, like with hard magic systems, I love getting to know like the rules and the limitations and everything. But I also love soft magic systems where everything just kind of feels very mystical and ethereal. What type of dare would I say I am? Let me look up the types. I don't know if I fit very cleanly to any particular type. I mean, if we're just talking about like favorites, like Bakadere and Dere are my favorites. They're the cutest types. Um, I don't know. Dondarry, maybe? I think that's the one I'm. Let me make sure I'm. That's what I'm thinking it is. Yeah, I suppose Dondarry would be the closest. Favorite book. I have a lot of favorite books. I like most anything by T.J. Klune. I haven't read all of his stuff, but I've read all of his fantasy stuff, I believe, and I loved all of it. And then the Raven Cycle is one I talk about all the time. I'm sure plenty of people are ready for me to shut up about it, but I love the Raven Cycle. I saw a few people were leaving, so good night. Seen any good movies lately? Nah, the only thing I've been watching lately has been that anime Mushishi. So, least favorite book. Oh gosh. Oh, The Scarlet Letter, no question. I cannot stand The Scarlet Letter. I just do not like classical books like at all. But that was just that one was so much worse. Oh, like the first half of the book is just about like 3 seconds in time. Oh, it's just not good. I do not like The Scarlet Letter at all. Okay. Got that off my chest. I have read Call Down the Hawk, and I'm very excited. I actually have a signed edition of the entire Raven Cycle, as well as a signed copy of Call Down the Hawk, and I plan on hopefully getting that for all the rest of them. I've never played Vampire the Masquerade. I've not read the King Killer Chronicles either. Admittedly, basically I have two like criteria for anything that I read. Like, for the most part, pretty much anything that I read is like it has to be fantasy, and there has to be some element of queerness. So that's kind of my criteria for, I would say, probably 90% of the books that I've read. Pod asked, "Was it like having a sizable following, people wanting your art, and how do you deal with the pressure?" I don't. Admittedly, I don't think I think about it very much. I just kind of don't give credence to, not to say that I don't appreciate or that I'm not like amazed by the amount of support that I get, and I very much appreciate it, but I kind of just try to put out content that I like, that I'm happy with, and people will respond how they respond. It kind of oh, I don't want to say it again, but it is what it is to me. Oh. I knew that was gonna happen with the it is what it is thing. Dylan, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Recommendations for getting into fantasy more. Let me pull up my Goodreads account and see. I have a hard time remembering everything that I've read. It really depends on what you want out of your fantasy. Let's see. Ooh, there was one series that I absolutely loved called the Tarot Sequence. Um, KD Edwards, um, his Tarot Sequence is really, really good. Um, some fantasy stuff, kind of somewhat. No, I don't want to say in the same style of what I do, but kind of the um, something that I think people that watch my channel a lot might like is The House in the Cerulean Sea, and that's by TJ Klune. I think right now it's a really good read because it's positive and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like found family, like monster kids, like it's really, really good. And I would highly recommend The House in the Cerulean Sea. Um, Guild of the Oh, geez. I just adjusted my like headphones in my ears, and my mic was suddenly much louder than I than I thought it was. R.A. Salvatore. I have not read anything from them, I don't believe. The Guild of the Cowrie Catcher. The Guild of the Cowrie Catchers. I also have not read. I don't think I've heard of that, actually. I do know what Attack on Titan is. I watched the first season of it. It wasn't really for me, but Incarnations of Immortality. Let's see. I know. I know the smoke detector. Yeah, that's. I don't actually know what's going on with that because I think it has batteries. It's just one of those sounds like that. It's been going for a little while now, and I don't know how to fix it, and I don't know what's going on with it. So I've just sort of gotten used to it and tuned it out, which I'm sure is a fantastic idea to do with a smoke detector. I have played the Arcana. I love the Arcana. Azra was absolutely my favorite character. The world's slowest metronome. Yeah, Azra and Muriel. I love Muriel too. Muriel is so cute. I've read there. I haven't read many webtoons, but there was a actually Lou Audio. He was reading, what's it called? The other day in his server, he was reading. What is the webcomic title? Castle Swimmer. Castle Swimmer is one of the webtoons I've read, and I that one's super cute. I also read. There was a vampire one I read a long time ago. But I feel like I'm gonna be like exposing myself. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't even remember what the name is, but I'm not gonna try and look for it. But it was queer vampires, and that's what I'm gonna leave it at. The book that I mentioned was The House in the Cerulean Sea. It's the newest book by TJ Klune. Cinnamon bun. There was literally like, not, not an argument, but a discussion in my server the other day about whether vampires or werewolves were more like LGBTQ energy, if it was, whether it was vampires or werewolves. And I'm on the what do you call it, underdog side of that argument. I think it's werewolves personally. I see the vampire argument, um, but I'm also just biased because I just love the werewolves the best. So. Jacob X Edward fanfiction. Jesus, I cannot believe. You know what? I can. In 2020, with the energy that this year has, I can believe that Twilight is coming back. The vampire is dating the werewolf. You're absolutely right. Ah, yes. I don't like to get into specifics necessarily, but I am part of the LGBTQ community. Werewolves being soft gay and vampires being chaos gay is so funny. Favorite smell or scent? My my sense of smell is not very strong. Sorry, that took me forever to figure out words. Um, my sense of smell is not very strong. Um, but I have some Bath and Body Works candles. I like lemon scented stuff. I'm trying to think of what else I have. I have a hot chocolate candle that I really like. That one smells really good. Not a favorite in general, though. Bye, Dragaphony. Thank you for stopping by. Bad smells. I think again because my sense of smell is not very good. It's it's hard for me to say because I don't have any because I don't think I have anything particularly strange that stands out to me in smells. Um my it's my more of my taste that's very very sensitive, like, and not even my taste, but like I'm very particular about the texture of things that I eat. But yeah, not so much with smells. Dylan, I actually got a candle. Um, for of course, for the Raven cycle, there were some candles on, I think, Etsy that I bought. And it turned in the end they were soy candles, so they didn't smell very strong when they were lit, which kind of was a bummer. But There was one somebody had made for one of the characters named Ronan. And no. Which character was it? Yeah. I think it was either for Ronan or for just for the Raven boys in general. It was inspired by one of the two, and it like one of the scents in the candle was gasoline, and when it wasn't lit, I swear this candle smelled exactly like gasoline. I have no idea how somebody got that smell so exactly into a candle, but it was so bizarre. Like, I don't know. I can't even explain. Like, how do you get a candle to smell like gasoline? I also speaking of strange candles, I have a candle from Bath and Body Works that smells like pizza, and it's the funniest thing. Like, and I really just bought it just like on impulse because they like I was there shopping for one of their sales, and like just reading it, I was like, or not reading it. They do you ever just start talking and words just keep coming out of your mouth even though your thoughts never told them to do that? um but yeah, they one of the people working at Bath and Body Works like was like, "Hey, have you seen this candle? Like it's one of our like quirky candles that like is also on sale like um and I was like, "Oh, a pizza candle. Ha ha, how funny." Like, it smells exactly like pizza. It smells not even like pizza, like a like a pizzeria. It smells like going into a really like traditional like pizzeria with like all the herbs and everything. It's so bizarre, but it's really good. Okay. Thoughts on Kavinsky? Um. See, I enjoyed Kavinsky, like as a character, but that's as far as I'm gonna go on that. Um. Yeah. He's not my favorite villain though. I know he's a lot not well, he's not I don't want to say villain, but um he was not my favorite antagonist. I really like Green Mantle. He's really Green Mantle, gosh, if we're talking about chaotic, he's just so funny to me. Fairies exude chaos gay, absolutely correct. Mermaids are Pinterest gay or fears. Nothing in particular. I don't like spiders. I I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say I have arachnophobia, but I am strongly averse to spiders. Insects, kind of in general, I do not enjoy. Yes, I definitely am interested in collabing with other ASM artists. I have some in the works at the moment, so we'll see. We'll see how things go. You should be seeing them eventually. Oh gosh, I'm finally almost done with this. What did I call it? Brussels sprouts. With my Brussels sprout tea. I'm ready to be done with it. The book in A Deal with the Charming Vampire is unfortunately not an actual book. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the author of the script based it off of I believe they based it off of loosely off of like one of those like Tumblr posts that went around a long time ago. But I could be wrong. I feel like I'm remembering that, but my memory is not amazing. I do not play Animal Crossing, but I enjoy seeing it around. I think it's very fun to see people playing it and talking about it. Okay, I think I'm gonna stream for about maybe like 7 more minutes ish. It's getting pretty late, and I've been streaming for a few hours, so I think probably like it's like 12:08 for me right now. I'm gonna stop at 12:15. PS, Xbox, or PC? Well, it's certainly not Xbox for me personally. And I would say I don't really game, so probably I'm on my PC the most for sure. But yeah, maybe not, but I don't know. I don't game, so it's hard to say. Oh my gosh, Aka, I can't believe you're still here. It's getting so late for you. I think in the Gods ASMR, I think when he says tiny human, I think that's more more in reference to the status of being human next to a god. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sleep for quite a while after this. Like I'm probably gonna just clean up a little bit and everything. I don't sleep very easily anymore, so it'll probably be at least a few more hours till I can sleep properly. Benjamin, I'm glad I could help. I hope you're feeling better now. Well, okay, getting some productivity in during the no sleep hours is like the idea, but I'm not gonna like promise that is actually going to happen. We'll see. But I got like one more thing of tea to make. I gotta make some of my Valyrian sleepy tea. See if that can help knock me out a little bit. Hi Megan. I'm gonna be done in just a couple minutes here, but I've got about a little less than 5 minutes left until I finish up the stream. Valerian is like maybe it's used in some kind of medicine, but it's something that's in teas that are supposed to help you sleep. Tazwell, if I could pronounce your name properly, Tazwell. I'm glad that you enjoyed the stream. Good job, Folan. I'm glad I could help. Oreo. Okay, Oreo, just for you, I will say bruh. It's just I don't really use a lot of slang. I'm not really a memer, and I don't use a lot of slang, so it always feels really unnatural coming out of me. Like bye Ninja, thank you for coming. The background. Oh gosh, I forgot to put the credit for that in there. That was my bad. Let's see. I have the credit here in one of my old live streams. It was underscore L treat on Instagram. I'm gonna update the so I just posted the name of the Instagram person. I just copied and pasted the little blurb from one of my past videos into the chat. Yeah, I mean, like, I of course I use slang sometimes and everything, but I of course don't have anything against slang. It's just not something I'm very, very good at using. So okay, I think there. The credit should be in the description now. Hopefully. Yes. Pog. Okay. There you go, Alex. Ah, Shattered Crystal, I'm glad I could help. And I hope you're doing better now. Oreo, yes, that's very good with me. Yeah, yes, Oreo. Somebody asked me to say Pog, which I suppose, considering I don't know what that means, I should probably not just say anything that, that anybody asks, but Soprana, good morning. All right, it's 12:15 now, so I think it's about time to head off. Oreo. I'm sorry. I know I pronounce it wrong. But yeah, I'm glad that you were all here. It was very fun hanging out with all of you. The company was very much appreciated. So thank you for stopping by. Please stay. I promise I'll be streaming again soon. I know it's been a very long time since I've done it, but hopefully soon, and hopefully it will be at a time that's not like midnight for me next time. I'm gonna try and be more active in the voice chat over on Discord. So hopefully, if those of you who are there will see me in there more often. VC is a little more awkward for me, but I'm gonna try it. But for sure you'll see me doing streams more often here as well. So Like I said, thank you all for coming. It was a very fun night getting to talk with all of you. Sweet dreams for those of you who are going to be headed off to bed sometime soon. And for those of you who are up and at 'em or morning or whatever time it may be for you, I hope you have a good day. I will talk to you all later, and good night.